Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome those of you that are new. And if you watch and you haven't subscribed, you should do so because it's free and it helps the algorithm, which doesn't like small channels like mine, especially if you talk about controversial things like anything that questions any status quo. And if you've been around for a while, please consider hitting the super thanks button or one of the links to either Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal found in the About section, because given the new YouTube rules, most of my videos have been demonetized. And I thought I was behaving myself. Story of my life. As soon as you start abiding by the rules, they move the goalpost on you. But what should I expect? You heard me bitch about Chester County. YouTube was created by Chad Hurley, who is from this area. So, yeah, as I said, his mother was my second grade teacher. I will dig out that yearbook. What I wanted to get into today, since I haven't done an INFJ video in a while, is why exactly do INFJs help people? Like, what is the motivation behind us helping others and what isn't? Because it seems to be something we do a lot. And I mentioned quite a bit on this channel that I have tried numerous times to do the right thing and help people out of bad situations, even when it was detrimental to me. And there's even been a few occasions where somebody had asked for my help. I gave them the help they sought. And then I was retroactively vilified for it because it's like, well, I don't like how this person's treating me, but this person's some big shot and everybody else says I should just suck it up. So what I want doesn't matter. And how I'm being treated, what I want for my own life doesn't matter as long as I fit in the group, which is really, really, really sad when you think about it, which obviously I have. So, I'm going to get into it now. It's important to note that INFJs don't help people so that we may be helped back. We're not doing it for a quid pro quo, like, I'm going to help you this time, then you're going to owe me. Yeah, that's not how we operate. That is how a lot of people do operate, particularly males who help females. And the old saying, girls got to do what a girl's got to do. I could tell you some stories about the numerous times in my younger years when I did the right thing and stood up to some jerk and maybe got in a fight and then had to push a girl away because she thought she owed me something. And I'm like, no, that'd be such a scumbag move. And I didn't know what a demisexual was back then, but I obviously was one just because I didn't know the words. But no, we don't help people to be helped back. It's that very annoying cursed sense of integrity where it's like, I know what the right thing is and I'm capable of doing it. And in this situation, somebody needs to step up and do the right thing. And I guess that's me. Yeah. Not to mention the hero complex too. That certainly plays a factor into it. That's not all INFJs, but it's good chunk of INFJs, particularly INFJ men, have a bit of a hero complex. It's not just me and Jon Snow. Number two, I don't help people so they may like me. Yeah, because as I've mentioned, a lot of times we do the right thing even when it's unpopular. We'll stand up to the untouchable so-called queen and the person who thinks like, well, I'm the boss and I'm mean. Whatever I do is okay by definition because I'm doing it. That's also by definition what a narcissist believes. So when somebody's being abused or taken advantage of, and it could be various situations, a boss taking advantage of an employee who can't say no, a relationship where somebody who can't say no is being taken advantage of. Oh yes, you know what I'm alluding to. And yes, I'm going to say it again. ENFJs, you will be, as much as I love you, you will be the death of me. You almost have been more than once. But it's a situation like that where a lot of times an INFJ will be the one who does the right thing even when it's not the popular thing to do, because we're doing it out of a sense of integrity, that gnawing voice in our head to do the right thing, even when doing the right thing isn't popular, because INFJs don't give a damn about being popular or whatever passing fads are coming by or anything like that. Stop myself from going on a rant. And number three, we don't help people so that we may brag about our goodwill. That's the other thing. We don't give a shit about praise. INFJs don't help people. So people will go, oh, well, they're such a, they did this and this and this and this, and rattle off about like how brave we are and how badass we are and all that we do for people. So, you know that type. I know some narcissists like that, particularly covert narcs. They're like, all I do for everybody and this and that. It's like you don't do anything. You talk about it, but you don't actually follow through and do anything. Things like that. So we don't do it, for praise. INFJs, a lot of times we shy away from praise. We're not big on like graduation ceremonies or award ceremonies or being, in the spotlight in general. So we're certainly not helping others so that we can brag about how badass we are. It's not why I got into the fire service myself. I wanted to be a part of something, what I thought would be a group of people who were all connected through integrity and their need to help others and be willing to do things like running the burning buildings that most people wouldn't. But no, no, alas, that was not, well, I mean, that was a good chunk of them, but there was negatives. We won't go too deep into that. But again, wasn't doing that to brag about it. There were people like that in the fire department that, basically became firefighters so they could go to bars and tell girls about how badass and brave they are. And quick story, one of them, his nickname was Fourth Floor. You know why? Because he could only walk up 4 floors in a high rise and he was winded and out of breath. Yeah. It's like you're not in this business for the right reason. Physical fitness is a big part of that business. If you can't stay in shape, you shouldn't be there. You're not there to look cool or, to tell everybody how badass you are or to constantly brag about, being in the fire service. We call them whackers. But alas, I'll get off my little tangent there. And finally, the truth. Why? Oh, why? Oh, why? What is the reason in that labyrinthian INFJ mind that compels us to help others even when it's unpopular and we're not doing it for praise or for favors in return? Well, that would be because when we help someone, we do it out of our own heart and because it's always the right thing to do. Yes, that is right. An INFJ helping somebody and doing the right thing is perhaps one of the purest examples of integrity there can be. And you should always know, if you're not an INFJ and watching this video, if an INFJ is sticking their neck out to try to help you, and especially if you've alluded to that you're in a bad situation, you couldn't full on tell the INFJ what's going on, but you gave them just enough to, their intuition, our intuition, put it together. Once you tell us that, especially if we care about you, we're not going to let it go. We're going to help you. We're going to do it. We're going to ask for nothing in return. And you can't call us back. Because once an INFJ is like, this situation's messed up. I see how it's messed up. I see the pieces of the puzzle. I must fix it. I must get this person out of the situation like they just alluded to asking me to. Or I must expose this person for who they truly are. And there's no stopping us. And usually people who allude to that are people who, trust whoever the INFJ is and kind of knows, like, I can tell them without fully telling them and they'll understand most, if not all, what's going on. And, off they go. Here I come to save the day. Because, again, hero complex. And, we'll do the right thing and damn the consequences. Something people figure out about us. But, as I said, if an INFJ is willing to help you, then that means that is confirmation that you are in a messed up situation, because an INFJ is not going to stick their neck out for something that's, made up or not really there, because we're not doing it for praise or for something in return. So if it's not truly a messed up situation, then we have no reason to stick our necks out in order to fix that situation. That makes sense, right? Because it does. So keep that in mind. And also, keep in mind when you ask for an INFJ's help, make sure it's what you want, because there's no calling us back. There's no calling an INFJ off. There's no like, oh well, maybe I don't mind being beat so bad. It's like nope. Well, it's different because they're gonna buy me this car. Well, it's different because this person's dad is some kind of big shot. Nope. No. There's wrong, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter the people that are involved, who they're related to, or how much money they have, or any of that crap. So Keep that in mind. INFJs, when the situations are messed up regardless of who the people involved are. Variables like that don't matter to us because we hate double standards. Something to keep in mind. But the main thing is that, yes, an INFJ will help you and ask for nothing in return other than your honesty and not to stab us in the back and try to retroactively vilify us, because that is a thing. See my video about INFJs must beware Daenerys Targaryen syndrome, because it's a real thing, believe me. It's nice to have an analogy to make it make sense to most people. But remember, INFJs, trust your intuition if somebody truly needs your help or not, or if they're just trying to use you or they have ulterior motives. And remember, our integrity is not for sale. No matter how unpopular doing the right thing is, it's still better than selling your integrity just to fit in with a bunch of people you don't like anyway. Thank you for making it to the end. Please like and subscribe, comment below. Uh, Check out older videos, send a tip via the links in the about section or the super thanks button, because YouTube's demonetizing most of my videos because I'm bad.